We are even I can trade. You will be assimilated. Your trading knowledge and distinctiveness will be added to our own. You will click the like button. You will subscribe to this channel. You will share this content with at least one other friend. Resistance is futile. So I lost money this week. Well, not really this week, on Friday. And in this video, I'm actually going to tell you why that's a good thing. Even a necessary thing if you're going to survive long enough to reach your goals doing this. I'm going to show you why I say there really are no quote unquote good option traders. So watch till the end to find out what two types of traders there really are. Your assimilation to the collective will begin by joining the Even I Can Trade Discord. Link in the description of this video. You will join a tier based on your distinctiveness, or you will join the general area with no economic impact. Excuses are irrelevant. In Friday's trading, I lost $20 net. Now, it's natural to be bummed about that, especially coming off another day of loss just 2 days before. But I'll get into why that loss occurred. But first, I am really happy that I took that loss. It tells me that I am maturing as a trader. I've had problems like a lot of people where I just didn't want to take a loss and didn't want to lose any money. I only wanted to gain. And of course, we all know that that's not possible. But emotionally, I didn't want to accept that I could lose with such odds in my favor and such well-prepared trades. This, along with my knowledge of what I like to call rubber band theory, or the market always trending towards the average, and me naturally being a contrarian, meant that I would really stay into trades that were going against me much longer than I really should. And I didn't follow stop loss discipline because I just felt like the market was going to turn around. Even worse for me, a lot of the time, it did turn around. This meant that often I would win trades that I really should have closed or otherwise managed. What I didn't realize was that this was just teaching me a different form of the gambler's fallacy. The gambler's fallacy states that a loss just means that per the odds, you're getting closer to a win. In this version, a win justified the thought that a loss is highly unlikely and so worth taking additional risk, just like this picture here of Russian roulette. Well, trading this style of options is like walking through a beautiful garden that was planted in an old minefield. It will lull you to sleep until one random day you take the wrong step and blow up your account. We had 2 such days this week, which is actually pretty rare, but goes to show you what the definition of random really means. Odds are funny in that way that just because something has a low chance of happening, nothing says it can't happen back to back. So let's look at this week and why it was so dangerous for sellers. First, Friday. Let me zoom in. This is more what it actually felt like. Something like that. So Friday started out mostly as a typical bullish day, not too crazy, but strong. Usually we expect most of the day's volatility towards the open and towards the close, unless there's some kind of economic news report. On this day, however, a landmine decided to go off in the form of FOMC President Waller. We had a bunch of Fed presidents speaking this week, and it was all fine, but this particular president just so happened to make comments that the market took notice of. You never know when that's going to happen, and it does not happen often, but it is possible. The market reacted accordingly and blasted off towards the moon. The timing couldn't have been worse for me because it was at 1:30. Typically, I'd be in a trade for 1 to 2 hours by now, and today was no different. I was in a call spread, a trade at 39.60 at the time, while the market was holding steady in the 39.30s. The trade was closer than I typically like, but at the end, it really wouldn't have mattered even if I got the distance that I wanted. The Fed comments set the market on fire and on a path that was going to destroy any call trade that day. These days are the days I hate the worst as an options trader, where the market is strongly trending and ends either at a high or at a low. It just really feels like you can't get far enough away from the market at any point in the day. And that's why most of us choose not to trade on FOMC days. And this day looked just like a FOMC day in disguise. What's worse is I was actually recording another video at the time, so I was highly distracted. When I recognized the danger, I immediately went to close my call spread and did what I call an anti-roll. This is when I roll to the opposite side of the market. I find this better than the traditional rolls during strong news-driven trends. I was not able to collect enough credit to make up for my loss. I had lost 80 cents on the close and collected 30 cents on the roll. And the only move I had left was a same-day call spread right in front of the train. And this is because I only have so much money in the account. So I did some projections and took a chance based on those projections. R3 was in play. And by that time, R3 was in play, and I bet that the market would at least pause somewhere approaching R3, which would buy me enough time to let our trade expire that day. So you can see this projection right here. If the market at least paused based on that trend, then it would buy us enough time. And that's exactly what happened, as you can see right here. We got that pause. The market continued up at the same general angle as it had been, but by the time it continued that trend, the market ran out of clock. In the end, taking that initial loss was the key to salvaging the day and allowing me to think clearly about my next move without added pressure. So currently I'm only one trade away from even now. The old me would have held that initial trade, hoping for a turnaround until I was so deep in the red that I might as well stay in the trade. Because of how gamma works, losses on spreads mount faster and faster the deeper in trouble you get. And it is harder and harder to do everything. Think of being near a black hole. The closer to a center, the more intense the gravity pulls. That's just like being in a losing credit spread. Understanding this, I'm happy to take an early loss because I can make up for it faster somewhere else and in a better position. I also now understand that you don't have to roll all at once in one package. I can get out, then take my time finding a better place to roll to. At the end of the day, the math is still the same. I had at least 3 losing trades this week in a trade with horrible risk-reward ratio, which is credit spreads with the low delta. And I'm only down $20 from my peak of the week. Now, just because I'm preaching this in a video does not mean this is easy. It is very hard taking a small loss that you feel could turn into a win if you just give it time to work. All you can do is try to get used to it and really just train yourself. But I will tell you, this is the key to victory with this style of trading. As I told another trader in our chat room who took a max loss on Friday and is kind of rethinking his career as a trader altogether, like I once did after facing a loss just like this. I don't care what anyone says. There are no good options traders. I don't care how much they boost themselves up. None of us are good. There are only traders that keep their losses small and those who don't. Once again, there are only traders that keep their losses small and those who don't. Remember that. Now, let's look at earlier on in the week, the other day that I took all those losses on. Now, I didn't have to. I was taking additional risks that day trying to make up, but this is another day. Keeping losses small saved my butt. So this is another high trending day where we ended up on the low of the day. This is like an opposite day. Luckily, this day the market trend started early, but again, I was already in a put trade before the trend started. So similar in that way. Once I recognized that trend start, went ahead and got out at a small loss. I think on this day it was like 60 cents or something. And that allowed me to place other trades, freed me up to think, okay, what do we do now? How do we better position? Right? So this day I was trapped on this day as well because I was already in a call spread up here that I couldn't get out of by the time it hit zero. So I was trapped in this day. I couldn't roll to another day. So I kept rolling down my puts. And I think I took like 2 other losses before I just got out. Right? And all of those losses were small, very small, actually. So 3-4 losses this week, and I'm only down $20 from my peak this week. All right. Keep your losses small. That is all you can really do to win at this type of trading, or any type of trading, I would argue. Keep your losses as small as possible. All right. Pick your spots, pick your entries. You win the trade at the entry, but you keep yourself safe on a small exit, a small loss. That's how you keep your trading safe. These would have been max losses. This day would have been a max loss, wiped out the account. This day would have been a max loss based on my first trade and wiped out the account. 2 extinction level events this week. And we survived with a couple of scrapes and bruises. All right. That's all we've got. Have a good one.